Hi, it's First Lady here, and I am in the kitchen as you can see, and I'm excited because I am cooking another wonderful weeknight meal. So tonight I'm going to bake some chicken, and I'm going to do some chicken wings that I have. I'm going to bake them, season them up. I'm going to make a gravy, a chicken gravy with the chicken, and I'm going to make corn casserole. It's kind of like corn pudding, and I've made this before, so I'm just going to make it again because it is such a crowd pleaser. So it calls for Jiffy, and it calls for whole kernel corn, and it calls for cream style corn. So I'm going to just kind of show you how I make my famous corn casserole, and I'm gonna make some mashed potatoes to go with the chicken and gravy. So I am cooking everything homemade today in my kitchen for this weeknight meal. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay, I have my chicken wings here. These are the all-natural chicken wings. I'm just going to rinse them really well, make sure that they don't have any residue on them, and I'm going to season them, and I'm going to put them into this roasting pan, and I'm going to use the cream of chicken soup, and I'm going to use onion soup mix, and that is going to make a rich chicken gravy. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm just seasoning up this chicken. I'm rinsing it off, and I'm going to put it into the pan, and I'm just going to season it. So each one is going to go right into the pan, and you can fold back on the chicken, and it'll be just fine. Fold back the wing, and it'll be just fine. Okay? I'll just keep this going. Okay, as you can see, the chicken is cleaned, and they have been put in the roasting pan. And so now everything is laid out, and I'm going to just add a little bit of some salt-free seasoning. Just throughout. And a little bit of the Lipton onion soup mix. So I'm going to use a whole packet, and I'm just going to liberally just kind of sprinkle it across the chicken. And this is one whole packet that I'm using. So as you can see, I emptied out the whole packet. And now I'm just going to pour the cream of chicken soup. It's the condensed, and I just got this at Walmart. And so I'm just going to sort of spread it across. And it's going to make a nice chicken gravy. So it's going to be an onion flavored chicken gravy once I spread this all around. So I'm just going to use a spatula and sort of just move it around across the chicken. And this is going to go into an oven that's been preheated at 350. And because it is preheated, the oven should be hot enough. I'm going to put some black pepper. And you can see that this is a lot of wings that filled up this whole pan. And I got the wings at Aldi. And the wings were, I think, $14.11. But you can see it's like about, 14 wings. And they're big, nice size wings. So they're going to bake in the oven for about an hour, these wings are. And I'm going to sprinkle some black pepper on them and put them in the oven. And it's going to make its own gravy. I'm going to add a little bit of water just before it goes in the oven. And so that is going to make a great chicken gravy. So you'll see as it cooks. Okay, for this Wednesday night or weeknight meal, I'm just going to add just some cut green beans, and I'm going to I'm making a lot for my family, so I'm just gonna do like 3 of these cans. And you can even buy the low sodium so that you don't have so much sodium in these cans, or you can use the fresh green beans or the frozen green beans. So I'm just gonna use the canned green beans because I had these in my pantry. And I'm just gonna add some cut onion. And I love to use onion in my green beans because it really gives it a good, very good seasoning and flavor. I'm gonna also use garlic and onion spice blend. So I'm just going to sprinkle that over these green beans, and they're gonna be really, really good with that. And I'm also going to add some fresh ground black pepper. And finally, I'm gonna use some grapeseed oil. And this grapeseed oil is good. You can use olive oil. And I like to use a good oil for this because it helps the green beans to have good flavor, but not a whole lot of the bad fat. So I'm just gonna cover these and let these cook and let these green beans sort of cook down. You kind of want to cook the canned taste out of it, and they'll taste really, really good once they cook. So be back in a bit. Okay, so the next dish that we're gonna make is just some mashed potatoes. So I'm just gonna use some yellow potatoes, and I'm just going to peel them, wash them really well, and I'm just gonna put them into water and bring them up to a boil, and we're gonna have some mashed potatoes. I'm gonna use milk and butter and black pepper in the mashed potatoes, and they're gonna be creamy and delicious. So I'll show you as they cook. Okay, so I have gotten the potatoes peeled and they are in the water, and you can see that I cut them up in sort of, you know, larger than cube size chunks of potatoes, and they're going to boil really fast because they're smaller chunks, and I'm gonna mash them. And we're gonna have some great mashed potatoes, and you can see the green beans have cooked. The onions have cooked down some, and you can see just how great those green beans look. So we're just gonna keep right along with our meal. Okay, the final thing that I'm going to make is the corn casserole. So it calls for 2 cans of whole kernel corn. It calls for a box of Jiffy. It calls for 1 can of cream style corn. And it calls for a ½ stick of butter melted. And of course you have a greased 13 by 9 pan. So I'm just going to spray this pan liberally. All right, and I'm gonna use some milk for the mixture. Of course, I have 2 eggs that I've already cracked, and they're gonna go into the mixture, and we're gonna make a creamy, smooth corn casserole because it's going to have something really great, and that is sour cream. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. As I put everything into the bowl, I'm just gonna add the whole kernel corn first, and then I'm going to add the cream style corn. All right, and I'm just going to mix it well. And I'm kind of adding, you really can add 1 can of whole kernel corn and 1 can of cream style, but I'm adding the extra can of whole kernel because I like for this to be really, really full of corn flavor. So then I'm going to, the last thing that you add is the cornmeal, the corn muffin mix. So I'm gonna do that last, but I'm going to add the milk here. And I'm going to add the sour cream. And this is an 8 ounce. So this is going to make quite a bit and make it really creamy and give it a good creamy texture. So that is the sour cream, and let me mix this up really well. And as I'm mixing this up, then of course I'm going to add the eggs to the mixture. Okay, 1, 2. They're just gonna go right in, and this is going to mix. Make sure that egg is really incorporated in there and not just sitting in there whole. So you definitely want to mix well. And make sure I get all of this sour cream into the mix. Don't want to leave out all that sour cream. All right. So once the mixture gets to sort of the desired sort of consistency, you can see how the egg is incorporated and the milk with the sour cream for this corn casserole, or you can call it corn pudding if you want to. My oven, of course, is preheated because I'm already baking the chicken with the gravy. So I'm just gonna add this whole box of the Jiffy corn muffin mix. All right. And I'm gonna mix that well. So, and I'm also going to add in this beautiful melted butter. Okay, so once I get this mixed well, it's gonna go into this grease pan. I'm gonna sprinkle some black pepper on top, and this is the corn pudding or the corn casserole, you guys, and it's gonna go into the oven, and it's gonna be amazing with the chicken, the gravy, the mashed potatoes, the green beans, and I'm gonna have some dinner rolls that I'm just going to put with the plate. So these like Hawaiian sweet rolls, and I get these from Aldi. You can get the name brand in the grocery store, but I just grab those, and you can't really tell the difference, but I just get a lot of my stuff from Aldi because it is a lot cheaper and it's close by me, so it's convenient. So I'm just gonna put this into this grease pan. It's gonna pop right into the oven, and I'll show you how it looks as it is cooking. It's gonna cook for about 45 to 55 minutes, close to an hour, you guys. All right, I'll be back. All right, it's gonna go into the oven. Okay guys, we are moving right along with our weeknight meal. I am ready to mash these potatoes. So I'm just gonna do about a half a stick of butter into these potatoes that have boiled nicely. And I am gonna do it old school style, you guys. I'm just going to add the milk, which is about a half a cup to a cup of milk. And I'm just gonna start mashing with my masher, you guys. This is arm work, but this is going to make some of the best creamy mashed potatoes you ever had. And I add the milk because I want to make them creamy, and as they mash, they will soak up that milk. And while it is hot, the best time to go ahead and add your butter is while it is hot. So I'm just gonna dump that half a stick of butter. It's the unsalted butter. And you can even add cheese to these. You can make loaded mashed potatoes and add bacon and sour cream. Oh my goodness, cheese, bacon, and sour cream, and even some chives. And you can make loaded mashed potatoes. But I'm just making the traditional mashed potatoes because I have that beautiful gravy that's gonna go on top of these mashed potatoes with the chicken that I have made. So I'm just gonna keep mashing, you guys, and you will see the finished product of some smooth, creamy, homemade mashed potatoes. Remember, you don't have to use the box. You can make it homemade, all right? Box mashed potatoes are not that great, but this way you control the sodium, you control the ingredients because you're using fresh potatoes. All right, you guys, be back in a bit. All right, you guys, you can see how creamy these mashed potatoes are. They're a little bit rustic because I didn't completely mash them all the way. That's the way I like mine, where you can have a little bit of texture in there with them. And I used black pepper, and of course I used just some Himalayan salt. I sprinkled that over. So these mashed potatoes are going to be seasoned great. And with that gravy on top, they're going to be amazing. So hope you try these mashed potatoes at home. I just want you guys to see what the corn casserole looks like in the oven. Ooh, the oven is hot. As it is cooking, you can see that it is bubbling up and it is rising because that cornbread's in there. So we will have corn casserole very soon. Okay, you can see that the chicken is baking, and you can see how that onion soup mix and the cream of chicken soup has made a really nice gravy that the chicken is cooking in. So a few more minutes and we are ready to plate. Okay, we are back and it is time to pull everything out of the oven and it is time to plate. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to pull out the chicken that has cooked. The chicken that's cooked in its own gravy, and I will show you that. You can see the corn casserole, how it has browned nicely, very nicely brown. And so we're getting ready to plate everything, you guys. All right, close the oven. I can turn the oven off. And I've got these green beans over here that I am going to just set on this heating pad here. And got that, and the mashed potatoes. So I'm bringing everything over here so that you guys can see everything as I plate it. So if we can just sort of zoom in, let's see what we have. All right, we have the chicken that has cooked. And remember, we used the cream of chicken and the Lipton onion soup mix. We have the corn casserole, the corn pudding. We also have the mashed potatoes, and we have the green beans. Everything is hot and ready to be plated, and we have these Hawaiian sweet rolls. All right, so let's go ahead and let's plate. Let me start with the green beans. Okay, and the mashed potatoes, you can see that butter, but these are very creamy, smooth mashed potatoes. Get a little of that butter there. And the corn casserole, which cooked for about an hour. It's still really smooth. It's like a corn pudding. All right, beautiful. Really, really creamy. We had that sour cream in there with the Jiffy, the butter, the eggs. Oh my. And now we have the chicken that baked for about an hour and a half. And I'm just gonna get 2 wings. These are the chicken wings. And they have cooked really tender, you guys. And I'm gonna take just a scoop of this gravy and put it right on top of the mashed potatoes. And there you have it, you guys. This is our plate, and it is good. I'm gonna add a Hawaiian roll, and I'll show you just the finished product of this plate, and we're gonna taste it because we definitely know that this is gonna be a great weeknight meal. It's not very expensive, you guys. This is a meal that you can make for not a lot of money. Mashed potatoes, corn, very inexpensive, baked chicken, green beans, and these rolls. So, oh my, I am looking forward to tasting, and I know that you are gonna love this meal. So before I start eating, I wanna make sure that you guys, please, please, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, give me a comment and let me know if you decide to make this weeknight meal. And you guys, please, please, please try this recipe. You are going to love it. So let's start with the mashed potatoes here. Everything is really hot, so I'm gonna try to not burn my mouth. Creamy mashed potatoes. The corn casserole or corn pudding, creamy. Sweet. Green beans. And this chicken, you guys, is really just falling off the bone. All right. This is an amazing meal, you guys. All right, you guys. I love you guys. And you guys continue to watch my channel, continue to subscribe, like, leave me a comment, and let me know what you think about this meal. Great weeknight meal, easy, quick, and delicious. Your family are gonna love it. So I hope you guys enjoy and be blessed.